Okay, long training session here on how to do a string out. And what we're going to do is we're going to use all the pieces of the puzzle that we were looking at so far, meaning the vault and the elements, and then we're going to be looking for footage here and looking for footage here, and we're going to create a string out down here. Okay? So there's a lot to do. So anyways, let's first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go into here and we have to create a place, a holding place for us to put this in. So we call these things bins, bin string outs, all kind of the same, a collection of clips, whatever you want to call it, script. So test bin for PilotWare. Oops, spell that correctly. There we go. Okie doke. So anyways, if I go back to list here, now I've got that one. And eventually what will happen is there'll be a whole lot of it in here. Sometimes, what I see is, episode 101 opening, episode 101 first act, episode 101 second act, version 1, second act, version 2, and all that sort of thing. You'll notice, too, that it automatically put my initials in here, which is kind of nice because after a while, you might get a whole bunch of these from a whole bunch of different people. And when you hit admin, when you hit this down here, it'll pull up just your bins. It knows that that's how you logged in under. And okay, so here I got this bin. What you first want to do is you want to go over to this string out screen. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking for footage, and it's going to, when I look for that footage, it's going to get loaded over here somehow. And then I'm going to watch the footage here, and then I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to be creating my string out as I go over there. All right? So the way to look for footage, obviously, is I can just go right back to the horse's mouth here, come over here, look at some footage. I can just go to open player, and I can start playing something. And I can say, I want this footage right here. So when I hit pause, see how I get copy clip and all that stuff? Go copy clip, and when I do, it assumes that you wanted to come over here and put it into a thing, right? So let's just
a little louder.
So remember, it took that with me, and now
Would you like?
Let's go back a little bit. All right, and let's mark it in time here. So notice down here when I hit in, it's going to set that.
Would you like? Already know.
So there's my in and my out, and then I come over here and go insert, and it puts that over there. Great. Alright, now let's go get some more footage. So I can go back to media, and I can play this one. Alright, that sounds good. And I can copy that one now. And it actually puts it right there where I had paused it, and it brings it right over. Okay? And I can now play this one.
You're nervous and
Like kind of
awkward and kind of scared, and so fidget with it, and yeah. Action.
And I can do the same thing. In, out, and I can insert that. And there we go. 1 and 2. Okay, a couple other things here. Let's go over here to media. Let's go over to elements, and some people like this screen right here. Oops, that should open up. So here we got, here's my log of this tape, all right? And let's say you want to go right to this point of the tape. I can highlight that and go to selected time code, and it'll take that point right there.
Can you say it a little louder?
So remember, this was the log and the transcription. So what I'm actually doing is I'm using this to see the entire log of this tape, right? Just remember, I'm only on tape 1, and I can highlight something, and now I want to go to that point. So I just did that. Remember, it's right here. Let's try another one. Let's go to this one, highlight the whole thing, go to select the time code, press the highlight this one, go to selected time code, right there. And now I can copy that and come right over here. Alright, cool. And now I can
Can you say it a little louder?
mark it in and out. And let's insert that right here. Boom. There we go. Insert it in the middle. Okay, so couple other ways. So this is just looking at it. When I'm over here on this screen, on the open player screen, it's independent of what the logger did. Okay. When I go over here to elements and this story log view, I'm going to make that bigger. It is dependent on what the logger did, right? Because I'm highlighting something and hitting, go to that piece of time code. Now, there's no pictures involved with this, right? Some people like this one, the files and play screen, because I can actually now see all the different, the entire log for this tape, and I can actually go to an actual specific place. The nice thing about this one too is it actually has the transcription for, or the log for, this piece of footage over here, and I can highlight it and copy it or whatever. And I can do the same thing. Copy that clip, and then it comes right over here. And that clip, by the way, is the same one that's loaded over here, right? And then I can play it and insert it. But what's really good is using this piece, elements. All right. Remember, this was all of the footage here, right? That we've logged. So what's good here is it doesn't matter what tape. I'm just looking for a keyword, right? And I type in JSON, and I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips. Now, if I do this, send 5 items to bin, right? That's now going to take those 5 clips and it puts them all over here. And this is all dependent on what the log is. This is the logger's timecode ins and outs, right? And so I can just come here. Let's get this this one here again.
You're
Here again.
nervous and
Like kind
There. Insert that. So we got a guy, wallet, moving along. Cool. And then I can do the same thing. I can come back over here to elements again. I can do a search for something else. Let's do the word close, right? Now let's say I don't want all 5 of these. I just want this one and this one. So what I can do now is I can click on that, just pull up those 2, just mark those 2, and now when I say send marked items to bin, I hit that, and it's just going to pull over those 2, right? Now, what is a little bit better, though, okay, is you can do this whole thing right from here. See this search elements? If I do that, and type in JSON, it pulled everything. That was the same as doing this. Going here, type in JSON, JASON, right? Going here, sending 5 to here, going here. I forgot to do something, send 5 items to bin, go. Yeah. And that's the same as doing all of that, all right? Just doing it from here. Close. There we go. And now you can go in and do your stuff. Now, a couple things here is if you want to play anything here, if I want to play this clip, I can just go there, hit load, and now it's just
you're
if I want to play the entire sequence, I can just hit this, play sequence from start.
Don't you like already know?
Now there's no fancy editing going on here. It just goes and loads one, and then it loads the next one. And
you're nervous and
Like
and it plays the whole thing. If you want to just play from a certain point, you can just go load right there, and then hit play sequence from loaded point. And it's just
can you say it a little louder?
good stuff. Okay, so now another thing about this whole StringOut thing is while we have been building this, it has actually been also creating like a 2-column script for you. And you can now come in here and add stuff or notes. Bad audio, use a Frankenbite. How do you spell that? Frank. And what's nice here is you can print this out. Alright. Also what you can do too is you can highlight stuff and format it here and make that bigger. I can actually come in here and make it red. And I can also come in here and do other things with it. Like another thing people seem to like to do is this one. Format with the strike through. Where's that? Strike through. Right? Sometimes you do that when you're trying to tell the editor where the cut is going to be. What it did here is it pulled the entire set of notes that the logger put in. Right? You can come in here and edit this all you want, and it does not change what the logger did. All right? And then when you put the two-column script, see, you got all your formatting right there. So it's a good idea to, when you're done doing a string out, you can print it out. Now, of course, what everybody's most interested in is how do I get this into the Avid or the Final Cut? Well, that's real easy. After I've got my thing right here, all I do is I go up here and I can export it to the Avid, export it to Final Cut Pro, and away you go. All right? Watch. When I do this for the Avid, it's going to ask me, what do you want to name it? Let's just put it on the desktop and call it bin 101. This asks which side. Always do the video, okay? And string out order. String out order is actually backwards. The order, but you'll see that here it created. Here's my little thing right here. Now when I open that up, open it up in the text editor here. It's actually backwards. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's all the same, all the same clips. And what happens is when you import that into the Avid, it will put it backwards in the bin, but when you drag the bin into the sequence on the Avid, it puts it in the forward order. So that is the basics of how to